$10 games is the norm. Microtransactions are running rampant, and gaming honestly has become a luxury hobby. How did we get here? I don't know, but in this video, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks on how to save money on buying games. I did do a video like this like almost a year ago, but I didn't really flesh out my points as well as I wanted to, so that's why I'm doing this video, to really get into the nitty-gritty on how to save money in this weird economy. Now, before we get into the video, as always, if you end up liking the video or if you found it helpful, please hit that like button. And if you're loving this video and all of my other ones, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 11K by my birthday, which is June 14th. Hopefully we could get there. Oh, I almost forgot. Also, hit that hype button if you want to. Alrighty then, let's get to the video. The first tip is very obvious, but a lot of people don't really do it in practice, and I'm guilty of that too. But this tip is to wait for a sale. A lot of publishers do put their games out on sale. Some of them go on sale pretty fast, which is kind of an insult to the people who bought it day one. It's a matter of fact that a lot of games follow a pricing life cycle. Almost every game, regardless of the publisher, platform, or genre, there will be a sale for that game down the line. Unless you're Elden Ring, because that puppy went up in price, and yeah, the DLC, it still should have been a cheaper product. The game is like 3 years old. But besides Elden Ring, the exception to the rule, you just gotta wait, and some of them are pretty predictable. Now, there is this misconception out there that Nintendo games don't go on sale, but we've been seeing a lot of Nintendo games go on sale. They just don't go on sale very often, and you have to get it at a precise moment. This tactic rewards patience. And I'm not saying if you're really excited for a game, you shouldn't buy it day one. No, buy it day one. I buy games day one that I'm really excited for. But if you're not gonna play it, think to yourself, let me play something else and let's see if it goes down in price. Now, this is a trend I've been noticing, but within 3 or 6 months, you will usually see a game go on sale for around 10 to 20%. By the year mark, sometimes it goes down to 25 or 50%. I feel like if the game is really popular, it won't go on sale as fast, so take that into account too. And it just feels so good to buy a game on sale and not the full price. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things you gotta enjoy. And that's what I'm trying to do nowadays, is to really be strategic on which games I pick up day one and which games that I'm gonna clock that is probably gonna be on sale given a few months. And all these retailers tend to have their own sales too. Mainly Walmart, Target, Amazon, Best Buy, and GameStop. A good example of this is the whole Nintendo is raising the price for a physical, whereas the digital game is $50, the physical is $60. Walmart was like, hey, why don't we price match it so you could get the physical for the discounted $50. I rarely give Walmart a win, but in this case, it's a big win. Now, Steam is popular, especially for their sales. And they usually do it at like a timely manner, so you know when their sales are going on. Like the spring sale, the summer sale, the winter sale. Now, PlayStation and Xbox tend to have their seasonal things too, but they're not really as good as the Steam sales, but they're still there. I'll give them credit for that. But that could be kind of hectic for some people. But there is another way to see these sales, and that is through social media. The most famous one is Wario64, and then there's Deku Deals. Wario64 is a Twitter account that is known for deal hunting, and he posts the discount in real time. The second something goes on sale, Wario64 tweets it out. Although if you do follow him a lot, you might have the urge to just buy every game, so be careful with that. Now, Deku Deals is actually a website, so you don't have to be on Twitter or any social media. Deku Deals lets you build a wish list, set a price that you are willing to buy for each game, and it will email you when the game hits a sale or hits the price that you're looking for. It also shows the full history of any game, so you can tell whether a game is actually a good deal or just a small markdown. Now, the PC front has a ton of different ways you could buy games. I mean a ton. Like Finacle and Green Man Gaming. I used Green Man Gaming once. It's a really cool way to get good deals. Now, this is not for every game, but a lot of games do get discounted through this website. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy a game on launch. If it's a game you really want, then pay it on launch. But if you're really kind of not sure about a game, just please wait for a sale. So the next tip is probably going to take you aback a bit because I collect games, but I also trade in games, and that is our next point. Trade in the games that you're never gonna touch. Really take a look at your collection and think, How many of these games have you gone back in the last 6 months, and was the experience good? Really take into account all the games you have and which ones are you willing to just let go. To this day, I've traded in a bunch of games, and it's not a bad thing even if you're a collector. I myself am what I call a curated collector, which means the games that I do have are the games that I love and I played, or the ones that I'm planning to play. If it doesn't meet that criteria, then yeah, trade in you go. And I wish Best Buy had a trade-in program. I think they do, but it's really, really bad. And I wish Walmart had a trade-in program and Target, because I really don't like to go to GameStop, but sometimes I do. And there's also eBay, although I really don't like eBay. It gives me the creeps. But sometimes you do get a better deal trading it via eBay versus GameStop. Although GameStop does give you trade-in cash and trade-in store value. And that avenue usually gives you more bang for your buck than just straight up cash. And that game that you just don't like and it's just sitting there could give you at least some. Now, I've been burnt with trade-ins. A long time ago, I traded in all my Pokemon games. The ones from the Game Boy Advance, the ones from the DS, and I kind of hate myself for doing that now. But I was a college student and I needed the money, so there's that. That's why I don't really sell my DS games. All my DS games are actually the games I really love, so I'm gonna keep them forever. But yeah, really know the value of a game before you trade it in. You could go on eBay and see how much the game is going for, and of course GameStop, but they're notorious for lowballing. So go to GameStop only if you just really don't know how to get rid of a game. And also this, you could actually look up a game on the GameStop app to see how much credit you could get for it, which is very handy when you're trying to put together games you want to trade in. And that is the only kudos I will give GameStop at this point. And then with the money that you get, you could put towards something that you actually want, or a game that you actually want. And this tip goes well with something I've been trying to say, and that is a lot of this could be fixed before it starts by really researching the game that you want to buy, because that could help with a lot of the stuff on this list. Now this goes perfectly with my next tip, and that is plan the games that you want to play by year. This is something I've been recently doing, and it's a game changer. The gaming industry is generally professionally excellent at making you feel like you need to buy things right now. Usually it's a hype trailer that drops and everyone you follow is giving it a 10 out of 10. And I do want to emphasize that I am not pocket watching. These are just my tips. But yeah, back to planning your games. Planning out what games that you want to tackle could really help you keep yourself focused, and it helps to really get yourself out of this hype cycle that always happens with newer games. Pokopia. Well, Pokopia turned out to be good, so. And this goes back to my play the games that you have now before buying a new one kind of mindset I've been doing. And you could also budget yourself, break down each game by the prices, have a fixed price. I'm not that kind of person though, but I do like to keep a list of games that I want to get to this year. For example, my games that I know that I'm going to play this year, day one, are Adventures of Elliot, Trails in the Sky, Second Chapter, Blue Reflection, Quartet, and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. All those games, I'm buying day one. No ifs, ands, or buts. Although, sometimes there's a surprise here or there, like I bought Pragmata. So occasionally surprising yourself is not a bad thing. Just again, do research on the game. And if you do this right, at the end of the year, you can feel very accomplished. I know I feel accomplished when I'm just knocking games down left and right. Also take advantage of wish lists, whether it be Amazon. I think every website has a wish list in one way or another. And I know on Steam, if you have a game wish listed and it goes on sale, it will send you an email. Now this might be true for the other platforms, but I turned off the email function, so I'll have to check on that. The next tip is don't be afraid to buy used games. I usually don't buy used games, but there's times where I have, and it's okay. It's okay. There is this weird stigma in some parts of gaming culture around buying used games, and I get some games come in questionable states, making it not the best product, especially in packaging. I'm looking at you, GameStop. Your packaging is horrible. Horrendous. And sometimes people have gotten burned by buying a used game and it just doesn't work. That's happened to me before. I wanted to cry. For this point, you just have to be aware where you're buying it and do your research before buying that used game. Because a used game plays exactly the same as a new one. Same code, same story, same gameplay, same graphics, same online features, yada yada yada. The financial case for used games is straightforward and significant. A game that launched at $60 6 months ago might be $25 to $30 used. And the only difference is that somebody opened the case. GameStop is the most accessible option for most people. Unfortunately, the selection is broad, the pricing is consistent, and they have a return policy, which is actually good. If you buy a used game and it doesn't work, you could bring it back. That protection is worth something, especially for older physical media. And I'm saying buy used games of newer games. Don't buy like the retro vintage games, like the Pokemon games that are like $200. I'm talking about just regular old games. And then there's eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Honestly speaking, I have never bought anything from Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, I haven't logged into Facebook in like 15 years, so. But yeah, eBay and Facebook Marketplace tend to have better prices because they're buying directly from an individual rather than a retail operation. The trade-off though is that you need to do a bit more homework, check the seller's rating, carefully read the listing description in full, look at all the photos included, and don't hesitate to ask questions before committing to the buy. And also, I've heard a lot of people find the best deals at Goodwill. Never be ashamed to go into your Goodwill and look through the toy selection. You might find a holy grail just sitting there. Now on to the final point. I'm gonna keep this part short because I did a whole video about it, but I do want to emphasize it in this video too. And that is, take advantage of your backlog. One of the most effective ways to combat rising costs in gaming is to realize that your current library is likely a goldmine of untapped value and potential. Now, I do know that some people have bigger backlogs than others, but everybody has a backlog. And now is a great time to tackle it. If you want to know some tips and tricks on that, I did a video. Go check it out. But yeah, a big beefy backlog will save you a ton of money. I mean, you did spend a lot of money getting that backlog, so you might as well take advantage of that. And by the time you finish the game, that other game you've been eyeing would probably already have DLC, patches, discounted, the whole works. Patience is the name of the game. So yeah, this point is not just for financial reasons. There is something kind of powerful about not giving into FOMO, not feeling the pressure, not feeling the rush, and just enjoying your game. Now for a tiny tidbit of a tip, and that is to use your library. Yes, you could get games from your library for free, rent them out, play them, and give them back. Nowadays, for libraries, you could look on the phone and see what games are available. This is good for people who just want to try the game, or a game is so short that they can finish it and then give it back, or if you just want to save money. Renting from a library is often overlooked, but there is the option. You just gotta check with the library around you because it could be different. So that is it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. I know gaming has been expensive. It's a luxury hobby, but that doesn't mean you have to make it into a luxury hobby. And please let me know any tips and tricks that you recommend when it comes to saving money for games in the comments down below. I would love to read them. If you found this video helpful and you liked it, please hit that like button. And if you liked this video and many more, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 11K by my birthday, which is in June 14th, and I hope we could get there. So without further ado, I hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.